So I'd now like to invite up onto stage Graham Paterson. Graham is the CEO and founder of Jitty in the United Kingdom, and he's going to talk about building an AI-driven property marketplace. Graham, thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome back. Like Simon mentioned, my name is Graham. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Jitty. It does, given such a prestigious company that I'm in, it feels a bit weird to call myself CEO of a company of like 6 people, but that is my job title. Jitty.com, check it out. So, very quick introduction to myself. I'm a tech guy. I was an early product manager at Wise, if anyone sent money internationally. I was an early product manager at Deliveroo, where I was working on artificial intelligence before it was artificial intelligence. And then I was a product partner at a venture capital fund, helping to make investments in early stage businesses and helping to advise the portfolio on how to build great tech products. This is all to say, I am not a property guy. I'm not someone from property background, so I do feel a little bit nervous talking about the AI business models and whatnot, but I'm a tech guy, so I'm very comfortable talking about the AI side of it. Quick introduction to Jitty. So we are building a property portal, marketplace, search engine, whatever you want. It's a way for people to find homes on the internet. Last year we raised money from some fantastic investors to help us build a team and try to disrupt the market. So I spoke with Simon and Harvey on their podcast, and afterwards Simon very kindly offered for me to come speak about how one goes about building an AI-driven property portal and using that to disrupt an industry. I want to start by telling you a little story about how I got into this. So in 2020, me and my family decided to leave London. We were living there, it was nice, but I don't know if you had it here, we had this pandemic in the UK, and everyone went to lockdown, you couldn't leave your homes, and we realized we don't like living in a really, really small place. And my son was growing faster than I could afford in central London, and I no longer had to work in the office every day, so we thought, let's mix things up. And I naively thought, moving home and buying a new place would be really, really fun, because I've done it before, I know how it works, I've got a bit more cash than when I bought my first home. But we were totally wrong. It was, as should have been expected, a pretty terrible experience. We were left on our own from the very start, where we had to work out how much can we sell this home for, how does that translate into deposits, loan to value, different interest rates, and different amounts we'd be paying at different homes. We even had to investigate where we would be living, because I knew I wanted to commute into London once per week. I was like 2 hours by train. And so to find out where I could live within 2 hours of London, I had to get up a Google image search of the train line, type each town name into a rail booking platform to see where it was within 2 hours, and then use Wikipedia to tell me about those different places so that I could just evaluate all the different places we could live. Then we went through a relatively passive search experience where you can save the amount of bedrooms you want and the price. And then you get these overwhelming results. So me and my wife were sharing properties between each other on WhatsApp. We didn't know what we'd seen, what we hadn't. And every day we were having to check all of the 3 major websites in the UK. And I couldn't quite believe that this was how this is how you make the biggest purchase of your life, was with this really what felt like a slightly outdated user experience. Randomly, one day, we did actually find our dream home. We were on a walk, and I walked past a pink door, and they had a for sale sign. And I realized we'd actually seen this home on Rightmove and on Zoopla, but we couldn't quite grasp just how perfect it was for us from the photos, from the description. So we saw it, and it had huge windows, and we really wanted huge windows. Those were my parents after we bought the place. It had amazing views, these really, really beautiful views on one side and on the other, and it was really close to the water, which was always important to me. And I thought, all these things that we're looking for are objective facts. They're objective bits of information. Why can I only search by bedroom count and maybe semi-detached or detached? Why is the search experience for homes so much harder than when you're looking for a song on Spotify or when you're looking for something on YouTube or on Google. And like every tech person and before me, I thought, why can't we build a better property app? Let's do that. It'll be easy because we know how to build apps, and therefore this will be easy and fun. And that was the second time I was extremely naive. So we started to do research. We learned that 57% of British people call moving home the most stressful life experience you can go through, above death of a loved one, birth of a child, and divorce. And there are 1 million home purchases in the UK each year. So we're like, that's a pretty big market to go after. And the global value of real estate is something like 400 trillion. And as soon as it hits 500 trillion, we get to say half a quadrillion, which is going to be really, really fun. But long story short, we were like, there's an outdated experience and this enormous, enormous market to go after. That seems really, really fun. And we looked online to see how people felt about their current experiences, and we saw loads of people complaining about what they could and couldn't do on various portals around the world. And then, as this all seemed really, really easy, we learned what you all will probably already know, and quite frankly, you should have warned me, which is that having supply of homes is very important, and getting supply of homes is very hard. It's a supply-driven marketplace. Supply of homes is all that matters. But they're very, very hard to get. It's hard to get because it's super fragmented. There's nearly 23,500 estate agents in the UK. There's a similar market makeup in most of the world, with a few national chains, some local, some regional. And they're all very, very different. They all have this really different websites that make getting information very, very hard. So at first, we started by going to their offices and saying, hey guys, don't worry, we'll showcase your homes, we'll do it for free, you are welcome, just give us a data feed. And we were told very clearly and very rudely in some cases where to go. And then we thought, that's okay, we're tech people. We can tech our way out of this. We can extract this data from the internet because it's open, it's publicly available, the supply wants to be seen, demand wants to see it. And we found that every estate agent has different websites, obviously, right? And they all have slightly different structures, slightly different formats. And so if you were to build something to crawl this and take the data, broadly speaking, you would need to write code that looks for individual elements and extracts the data. So you would need to say, cool, this is the price. Look for this element. But then as soon as the estate agent changed their website, you would have to rebuild the crawler. And as soon as, and you'd need to do that repeatedly for all of the 23,500 estate agent websites in the UK. And so as we were on the cusp of giving up, we started to look at these websites, and we realized, like, if you show them to a person can very easily tell you about the home. I can show you an estate agent website that you've never seen before, and you can tell me, it's 4 bedrooms, this is the price, this many bathrooms, this is the location, these are the photos. And we figured, like, LLMs and generative AI is very, very good at taking semi-structured or unstructured data and making it structured. So we trained it and used it to work out where the images are, to work out the crucial information about bedroom, bathroom counts, to work out the price, to work out the location of the homes. And we use that to build a basic index. But we can also use it to build things that are kind of complex, but really delightful to users. So if you take the description, our LLMs can read the description, and rather than just looking for example, parking as a keyword, where all of these would show up, we can say, is there on-street parking, off-street parking? Is there a garage? Is it covered? And it can read floor plans. So it can look at this, and it can tell us there's 3 huge bedrooms, 1 double bedroom, ensuite, upstairs loo, downstairs loo, the size of the property. And it can look at photos, and it can tell us the style of the home. So these are all period-style properties. It can tell us these homes all have wooden beams that are exposed, if you like them as I do. I also love freestanding baths, so like baths that are just like separate on their own. Homes that need renovation, it's a personal love of mine as well, as looking through these. And that lets us build up very cheaply and very easily this full index of data about the property market that we can use to do really, really cool things. So people can tell us, I want to see 2-bedroom homes within 2 hours of London, right on the water, with real wood floors and some kind of outside space, and we can show them all those homes. Or they can say, I want a Victorian renovation project under £1 million. We show them those homes. Or they can say, I want a home on the Jubilee line, which is a specific tube line with high ceilings. We can show them those homes. And we've done this. Oh, and then people can save them as collections as well. So you can save with your shortlist. You can, if anyone wants to buy me my post-IPO purchase, I'd be very happy. And we have what I think is probably the most comprehensive metadata set and certainly like search experience for properties in the world. We haven't got that many homes yet. We've got like 50,000, something like that. But what we do have is this really, really deep understanding of each and every one of those homes. So we can give people access to this, so they can find any home that they want by searching through this. And what's really fun and exciting for me is that we've managed to do this. We launched in February, so we've done it quite quickly, and we've done it with 3 engineers. So very, very quick. We've been able to use AI to build this really powerful data set, and that's just going to keep growing. But then there's a really interesting question of, that's how you build an AI-driven property portal, but how do you build a real business around that? How do you use that to disrupt an industry and really change things? And going back to first principles, I thought portals kind of make sense when getting supply is expensive. When getting supply of homes is expensive because it's really messy, there's loads of them. But does it still make sense when you can get them cheaply? So when getting supply of homes is expensive, you aggregate homes, you aggregate demand, and you connect them through your platform. Then you can monetize in a bunch of different ways. You can exclude homes that don't pay you. You can promote certain homes above others. You can show some homes to people that pay you ahead of time, or you can insert your preferred providers for different services in between. That has its drawbacks. That means that you can't show everyone full supply of the market. It means you're not incentivized and aligned with users on creating a really, really great user experience. It can be good, but I don't think it'll ever be great. And there's sometimes animosity from estate agents as well. And so when you take this view of if getting supply is now really cheap, what happens? Like, what does the world look like when actually acquiring supply of homes is pretty much a commodity? And we've seen this throughout history, and I'll talk through the examples. But 3 things that we've seen is that people that win are the ones that don't charge supply, have great or like the best user experience, and the easiest way to do that is with very, 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 very fast-moving teams. So like your tech giants are all built on those three premises. So we've seen this before. It's easy to forget that eBay was leading Amazon for quite a while, and the reason they won, that Amazon won, is because they didn't charge people to sell, whereas eBay did. Or they didn't charge people to list, whereas eBay did. So they aggregated more supply, so they got more demand. The rest is history. iTunes would charge supply, so they never were able to fully aggregate everything. Spotify were able to combine that with a better user experience. HomeAway, now VRBO, used to charge supply to list. Airbnb didn't. They used that to build a better user experience. They won. Classifieds used to charge people to list. Craigslist said, we're not going to charge people to list for most things, and they've used that to create an absolute mammoth company. Like, check out Craigslist revenues. They are absolutely huge for a website that doesn't look like it's been updated in a very long time. Vimeo was founded before YouTube. Vimeo used to charge people they still do, charge people to host videos. And YouTube said, that should be a feature rather than the business model. We want as many people to create great content and to put it here, because that's how we can build a better business. Google, Yahoo, same story. And so we've seen this play out so many times throughout the years. And so we said to ourselves, like, what does that business model look like when supply is commoditized? How do you build that really, really great user experience? What do users want? So the answer to how do you I completely fucked that punchline. So the answer... How do you build an AI-driven property portal and disrupt an industry? Thank you. So, candidly, and this might make me the most unpopular person in the room, and thank you for what may be my last ever invite, I don't think the business model makes sense anymore of that kind of thing. So I think what you've got is your sellers and your buyers, and I think when supply is commoditized, whoever offers the most value to buyers is the one that wins the market. So we spoke to buyers. We asked them what they wanted. They want to know how much to borrow. They want help finding the best home, which is where portals and the like fit in. They want help booking viewings. They want help to make the right offer. They want to get and understand a survey. They want to find a lawyer. They want to manage the process. They want to find an agent to sell your home, which Get Agent are doing a great job over there here somewhere. And so as we went through those things, we realized what the market is asking for is basically a home buying agent. So we're going to build a digital home buying agent. So we started off thinking we're going to build a portal. That's what we want to build. But we couldn't ever escape this question of if you build a portal but don't charge like a portal, how do you make money? What's the business there? So instead, we're exploring the route of building a digital home buying agent using the portal as a feature to get people in to win and keep them. And that's what we're going to do. That's me, everyone. I have finished ahead of time, and I'm very proud of myself for that.
Thank you. Step up. That's what I like about Graham is he's here to disrupt those who think they can't be disrupted. And I think that's fantastic that you're approaching this in a very different way, a very clearly an AI-driven way. What type of search query adds the most value compared to traditional search?
It's really interesting. It's such a good question. I personally didn't think that natural language search would ever be useful. I thought, it's not value add. I think it's just for different people looking for different things. If you want to find renovation potential, for example, it's a lot easier to type in do upper in London than it is to go London, click, open filters, go down and press that. So I think it's less about adding the most value for specific queries, and it's more about just being a different way to achieve the same thing.
How much of this is generational? So if we think now we can now talk about generations of people in the online real estate space. I mean, you go back to the late 1990s.
Yeah.
Were you born?
Just.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay, so then if you think about it, we're so trained to search through lists. We go from the papers to the classic. We're used to the papers having, if you got them all in one suburb, you were really lucky.
Yeah.
Right, and so for us, the jump to to a fielded-based search was natural.
Yeah.
I mean, but now the generation is not all about the searches. I think it was you or someone else said earlier, if you give someone who's a Generation X or whatever, they look at it and they sort of scratch their head and wonder what to do.
Yeah.
So how much of this, from your perspective, is generational, and that you're really looking to target not the 45-plus generation, but actually the younger generation who's thinking first home, thinking rentals?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we've had success so far tapping into to an audience that wants and expects a slightly more modern experience. I think we found that the average age of a home buyer in the UK is, I think, 35, or a first-time home buyer in the UK is 35, and the average age of a millennial is 35. So we found there's this really nice cross between people that want and expect great online experiences next to combining with those people that are now able to buy a home. I think, I don't know the answer, but what I do know is that as supply becomes commoditized and more people can build on top of it a lot quicker, there will be a bunch of different types of experiences.
Okay. There's a lot of free portals already, but they aren't winning in this space. So free listings doesn't seem to displace brand value, which is important. Rightmove has a great brand in the United Kingdom, and the ability to bring leads. Given a house is the biggest purchase of an individual's life, won't they want to look through all the options still? And what is it? And one doesn't want AI shortening the listings available. So
Yeah.
they actually will want to do the search process.
Oh, totally. And I think the two key things for me are that's absolutely correct. The two key things for me are that, one, I think with AI you're able to cheaply acquire that full supply. So for us, our plan is very much to have every home on the market in most of the Western world, at least online in one place. So I think that is how you get more supply. And I don't think AI should be about shortening lists. It's about saying, if you describe exactly what you want, you should be able to see that. And then if going slightly outside of your price bracket, or look, there's no homes here with a real wood floor, so if you drop the real wood floor, here's 20 or 30 other homes. That's all ways that you can improve the experience. So I think it's less about AI shortening the list, but rather about giving you better quality results that are filtered and formatted in the right way.
Right, so it's a higher quality list, not a shorter list.
Exactly that.
And having to hunt through less advertisements and more homes.
Exactly that.
Okay. Do you have permission to scrape portal websites? And are there any legal considerations?
Yeah, we've looked at a lot of depth about the legalities of it and exactly how we do it. One of the premises that we very strongly believe in is that, I should be clear, we don't scrape portals. I feel like I never get this across clearly enough. We don't touch Rightmove and Zoopla. We don't want to. That's their business. That's their thing. I personally have no interest in fighting that battle. What we've got is estate agent websites that do want to be seen and buyers that do want to see those homes. So it's more like a Google aggregating supply from its own source rather than going to our competitors.
And I assume then that AI and its capacity to think intelligently about what it's looking at, rather than you having to keep changing the code of the scraper, makes life 10 times easier. Exactly
that. And we could make our lives easier if we went to the portals, or rather it would help us grow supply quicker. But I'm not the sort of person who wants to build a business where people don't want me to build it with them. So we'd rather work with supply that does want us to do it.
Okay. What kind of business model will you have?
It's a really good question, and it's one that does come up a lot. I think...
Especially with investors.
Yeah. No, it turns out... I guess, look, do we have to make money? No, so the...
At some point, I hope.
Yeah.
Sequoia would like that.
So this is why we're looking at... This is why we look at the home buying agent as being a thing, because I fundamentally don't believe, like I said, that property portals will have a business that's really powerful in the next 10 years. I don't think that's how you build a once-in-a-generation business anymore. I think home buying agents is a thing that is extremely popular in America, extremely valuable. There's a lot of problems to be solved. And I think that we can use this we can use AI and this portal as a starting point to get that and to build a business model in the same vein. I don't want to give exact specifics because there's a lot that we need to work out still, but that's the route that we're going down.
The way I sort of view your business is that you're taking a different approach to generating demand, generating leads.
Yeah.
And that if you get that flywheel moving, the business model will evolve over time. It'll emerge out of the fog, right? And you'll find a way to make money. You don't need to worry about it now, and I guess these guys who are backing you at the very early stage are saying, come on, get listings, get demand, make sure that the way that the consumer interacts with the listing is so fundamentally different to the traditional model.
Yeah.
And if that works, and you can generate higher quality leads for the then we can give you some more ammunition to keep scale
going
much faster.
Yeah, I'd really appreciate if you followed me through pitches in future, because that was very well put.
Okay,
yeah.
That's okay, good. Well, for a few percentage points. Okay, last question. As an e-agent, where will you get your leads from?
I don't understand the question. I'm really sorry.
I don't know. Someone wrote it.
Kevin,
and 3
talk
people
to me
liked
later.
It.
I know, and
Okay.
Kevin and other 3 people.
Were you a traditional portal? Which would be your first AI implementation?
It's a good question. I think, if you're a traditional portal at charge supply, I think the understanding photos, there's a tremendous amount of value in homes that are locked up in photos that people can't get. Whether that's something about the state of the home, like there's a bit of mold over there, or these carpets will need replacing, or the view, or things like that. And people would only see that once they've gone through the listing and looked through every single photo. So I think that's where a lot of the value is locked up. But Antonio, please don't actually do that because you're a competitor. So.
Okay. Fantastic, Graham. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Excellent.